294 or 295-7469. Three Angels Pharmacy, located at shop number 7 Caledonia Plaza, 7B Caledonia Road, Mandeville.
Stay informed and follow advice given by your healthcare provider. Stay informed on the latest developments about COVID-19. Follow advice given by your healthcare provider, your national and local public health authority, or your employer on how to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. National and local authorities will have the most up-to-date information on whether COVID-19 is spreading in your area. They are best placed to advise on what people in your area should be doing to protect themselves.
This is KLAS FM, the station where you get God and sports. We broadcast on the 89 frequencies on your FM band and online at omegaklas.com. Please continue to be blessed and enlightened. Gospel and sports sensible.
Good morning, Jamaica. Good morning to the world. Oh, yes, it is February 2024. This is Spot On with Vernon Darby. Oh, yes, we're coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica, where we say we little but we talawa. This is the People's University, the People's Program, the People's Parliament. Stay with us for your spiritual, social, and intellectual needs. Stay with us because we support what is good for you. It's a People's Show where we listen to your concerns and we will leave no stone unturned until your issues are addressed. This is a place for exciting discussions. This is a place to make sure that your voice is heard. This is a place to be spot on. Remember, if there are issues in your communities, your district, or your town, then make contact with me. If you are aware of persons who are giving outstanding service in your communities, then let me know about it. If you've been to an office, whether it's a government or it's a private sector office, and you have been given outstanding customer service, then let me know about it. Of course, you can call me at 876-968-8117. Let me give you that number again, 876-968-8117. Well, today's another great day, another great and informative program today, and you're going to stay with us right up until 11 o'clock. And, of course, we will have music first, then we'll have, let me see, yes, we're going to have first, wow, I seem to be missing some things here. We're supposed to be having, I tell you what, we seem to be missing something here. I'm going to double check on that again. All right, let's get into some music.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze
Oh, yeah, you're listening to Spot On, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. This is your friend, Vernon Darby, and yesterday was something else. The president, former president of the JTA, Paul Adams, was missing. We're glad to note that he has been found, but I must tell you, questions are still being asked as to exactly what happened. And the JTA president commented on the matter. All right, let's all hear from the JTA president. That's Mr. Leighton Johnson. And that...
The Jamaica Teachers Association can confirm that the principal of the Herbert Morrison Technical High School and the two-time past president, Mr. Paul Adams, has been found and he is alive. We are really grateful for the outcome of this situation. We thank God that he is alive and that we can now breathe a sigh of relief on how this situation has unfolded. We thank the members of the association, members of the general public, and all persons who prayed for us, prayed for him, supported his family during a very, very difficult and anxious period. We just want to now pray that all is well and that he can continue to serve his country in the remarkable way that he has been doing over the years.
Well, we have to give thanks, and I want to say thanks to the various citizens who helped, who sent me information, and really thank you. That cooperation really can make a big difference. We're getting some complaints about Harborview, the traffic in Harborview also, that persons are building, having street garages right there at the roundabout. I think that's near to Bull Bay. And that's creating a problem. KSAC, you need to do your job. All right, let's hear from our good friend there from Harborview, giving us his view on the traffic situation there at Harborview.
And this traffic you're seeing is from
the corner
of St. Bendix. Well, you could say approximately 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. And this traffic you're seeing is from the corner of St. Bendix. Well, you could say Shooters Hill, coming right around from St. Thomas. And if we pan and look right around, all of this is coming, that's it heading to the Harborview roundabout. What is actually happening here now is that the traffic, you have this beautiful road, and yes, so therefore the traffic moves much faster. So when it comes to the roundabout, it's going to bottleneck for about generally from between 7:30 to about 8:30. By 8:30, generally it's clear. As I indicated earlier on, at the roundabout you have police generally there assisting with the traffic flows, because you will have traffic at the roundabout have to be coming from Fort Nugent Drive. Also, these people will be coming out either heading to St. Thomas direction mainly, but generally most of them would be heading towards the west, going into Kingston. So again, at this time of the morning, this is what the traffic looks like. So people need to be out if they want to get to work on time. They need to be out like a little earlier, but I suppose in time they'll get used to it, because as you get to the roundabout and clear the roundabout, the traffic flows again. So I would say once you hit 7 miles, 8 miles, just anticipate that you're going to have a 10-15 minute slowdown, and then the traffic moves smooth again.
One thing is clear, that with the development of the highway, it seems now that there is a bottleneck right there in Harborview at the roundabout. And it seems to me after a while we have to probably build a flyover. You see, you can build a highway, but wherever you have bottlenecks, it is going to affect the traffic. So you have to build or arrange your system in such a way that the traffic flows directly into the town. Wherever you have roundabouts and so on, or intersections, that is going to hold back the traffic. All right, not going to comment on that anymore. Going to go for the break right now. We come back. Yes, it's your health and you. Vernon Darby saying to you, this is Spot On. We're the Vernon Darby. So come back. Don't move.
It's time to accelerate. Get ready for the Woman Ignite Success Summit 2024, March 8 to 9, Jamaica, Pegasus, Kingston. 2 days of intense worship and conversations about building kingdom wealth, business, marriage, finding purpose, and more. Featuring from the U.S., author and business leader Nona Jones, business coach Dr. Latanya Moore, pastor and entrepreneur Sarah Connor, high-performance business coach Natalie Taylor, and much more. Woman Ignite Success Summit, March 8 to 9, Jamaica, Pegasus. Get tickets at womanigniteja.com. Powered by One Group, Visual Tech, Digital Video Concepts, and other partners.
Beneficiaries. The PATH payment cycle begins on February 19, 2024. Post offices and payment agencies will deliver payments based on last names up to March 4, 2024. Check the Weekend Star to find out when and where you should collect. If you miss your date, you must collect between March 5 and March 6, 2024. For more information, call PATH at 876-922-8007 or visit the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. PATH, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Give a little something. US $1 JD 150 every time you receive a remittance from Lasco Money Transfer to sponsor a social project selected by the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Say, I want to donate $1 to the cashier. Donations accepted at these locations: 38.5 Red Hills Road, Kingston 10, 15 Chandos Place, Poppin Square, Kingston 10, and Shop 203 Bayway Shopping Center, 3 St. James Street, Montego Bay.
Need parts for your Hyundai, Kia, Daihatsu, Toyota, Hino, and Dyna motor vehicles? Look to Palmark. They are dealers in Japanese and Korean parts in Jamaica. Visit them today at 53 Mullines Road, Kingston 10, or call them at 923-5864, 923-5868, 758-5395, or 615-769-728. You can also email them for parts availability at parts@palmark@gmail.com. Get on your mark with Palmark.
Welcome back. Yes, you're listening to Spot On with Vernon Darby, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica, right here in the beautiful country, situated right here in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, where we say we little but we talawa. Coming up right now is Your Health, Your Wealth. And of course, we have from the cool hills of Manchester, they are perched on the top of the hill. Yeah, Dr. Leland Johnson, we don't have him as yet. We're still trying to reach out to him. So you'll bear with us, listeners. So this time we'll have your health, your wealth. And I must tell you, this is something that not only patients need to think about, but even those who are members of the medical profession. You need to look after your own health. And when I tell you, my listeners will know, I speak in parables. You have to. And we're asking the Medical Association and other persons, colleagues, sometimes you have to monitor your colleagues to see what is happening. Because one of the worst things is to have a doctor who is probably not well and probably try to, they call it, self-medicate. Why get the doctors on the line? Dr. Leland Johnson?
Hi, good morning.
Oh,
morning,
yes.
Morning, how you doing?
Hope you caught a little bit of what I said, advising colleagues, medical colleagues, to pay more attention to their colleagues in the ministry.
Yes.
Because
yes,
doctors are human beings, and we must
Exactly.
understand they go through stressful periods. And part of the problem is that sometimes the doctors try to look after themselves. The same way a lawyer who is his own lawyer has a fool as a client. Doctors should seek help whenever they have challenges. And I'm saying this as a
Amen.
major statement to now. I hope everybody's listening. I'm going to be talking to the Minister of Health and the President of the Medical Association. You will start to look around at your members in your unusual behavior, listen to patients, and we need to act before it is too late. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. When you hear I make those statements, Dr. Johnson, I make it against the background.
Yes, I pick it up. I'm picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And we have
Vernon.
to be understand. We have to be understanding and caring. And oftentimes, lately, when somebody or colleagues becomes ill, families tend to sometimes pull away from them. We abandon them. This is the time where we need to move forward and to help those who need help.
Yes, Vernon. That is so true. I agree with you. You know, even though this is not what we're talking about,
Yes.
I mean, just coming in, there's a topic that I want to present to you and the listening audience. And before I continue, I'm going further. A hearty good morning to you, the staff of Omega FM, to your listening audience, both locally and overseas.
Good morning again, Dr. Johnson.
Morning again. Yes, Vernon. You see, we have been hearing in the radio and even television media that we are to be careful of the amount of sugars that we consume.
Oh yes, I will consume a whole heap.
Yes, and there has been a drive, or even before the awareness of sugar consumption, especially in Jamaica, we have been hearing that we are supposed to reduce our fat intake because of the deleterious effects that it can have, especially on our cardiovascular system. Now, new evidence as a result of scientific research have actually proven that the increase in our sugar content is one of the main drivers of the diseases that we are now facing with, not only in Jamaica but all over the world.
Oh, so and those are what sweet you sour you. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I've heard you made that statement before, and I said I'm going to have to make a presentation on that as well, because our increase in the amount of sugars over the decades, there have been an evolution in what we call the metabolic syndrome, which is a conglomerate of symptoms which include elevated cholesterol, which means that the very bad cholesterol subunits of LDL and VLDL, which is very low density lipoproteins, have increased. We also have an increase in blood pressure, insulin resistance, otherwise known as type 2 diabetes, and also obesity. Now, I'm just going to give you just some statistics here, Vernon. You know that the American Heart Association recommends that the daily intake of sugars for men should be 9 teaspoons, which amounts to about 36 grams. And that of females should be 6 teaspoons, which is about 25 grams, which is on a daily basis. Now, when we look back in our history and we compare then to now, we are going to see an evolution, an increase in the amount of the sugars that we have been taking. Now, in the 1700s, Vernon, each year I'm quoting an annual consumption of the individual. For that period, persons were consuming just 4 pounds of sugars, right? Which is under 2 grams or 2 kilograms, I should say, all right? By the 1800s, it had gone up to 10 kilograms, which is basically 20 pounds of sugar per year. Now, in the 1900s, we have seen an increase between 20 to 40 kilograms. 20 to 40 kilograms of sugar for the year. So that is going to be about 40 no, 30 to 40, sorry, which is about 65 to 88 pounds of sugars per year. Now, in the early parts of the 2000, the record had increased to about 60 to 80 pounds of sugar. I mean, kilograms of sugar. So we are consuming roughly on average 160 pounds of sugar every year.
But it's a live sweet?
Exactly. But here's the sour part.
Yes.
During that progression over these years, there has been an increase in the obesity rate, the blood pressure, cholesterol issues, and all of those combined to what we have as the non-communicable chronic diseases such as heart disease, strokes, etc. So there is so there's a big increase in that. Now, I'm here to kind of make a distinction about sugars because not all sugars are the same, and I'm going to be paying particular attention to the what we call the high fructose corn syrup. Now, sugars is what is used to advance flavors, to make it more attractive, to make it more palatable. Now, in the 1960s, there's a scientific research agency in Japan. I think it was in 1965. They had discovered a particular enzyme they call xylose isomerase. Now we're going to pay attention to that particular enzyme. Now, an enzyme is used in reactions, in reaction processes to speed up the reaction time. So in order to make sugars, or what we call table sugars, you have to get a starch and then break down that complex starch to a disaccharide, which is composed of two simple sugars, glucose and fructose, right? Now, the easiest form of producing sugar at that time was through corn, and so the regular or the normal breakdown of the glucose would be into the starch, into its more simpler forms, which is the combination of sucrose, which is glucose and fructose.
So the body can absorb it.
Right. However, what the scientists had done, or the Japanese scientists had done, was to create this enzyme, or to detect this enzyme, which is able to convert some more of those glucose to fructose. So you're going to have an increase in the amount of fructose ratio. So therefore the term was coined high fructose corn syrup.
Oh yes, right? I've heard of that.
Right. So there's a distinction now between what we used to consume as our regular table sugar with respect to this high fructose corn syrup. Number one, it was cheaper to make. Two, it is a bit sweeter than regular sugars or table sugar, and also it's a bit more addictive. And so with that now, it is easier to put this high fructose corn syrup in canned sodas. Now, a canned soda can be around 10 grams of sugars, which is a lot, right? 10 grams of sugars, or 40 grams of sugars, which would be about 10 teaspoons of sugars within that
10
Coke.
10 teaspoons? Really?
Yes, about 10 grams. And remember, for the day we're supposed to be consuming 9 teaspoons for men, and for women should be 6 teaspoons.
So one drink that can consume. My God.
Yes. So we are doing the math right here. No.
I tell you what, a hold that point, because we have to go for the break. We'll come back. This is unbelievable. That means that the more modern the society becomes, the sweeter it becomes, but probably the more modern our lives become. What a thing. Talking to Dr. Lynn Johnson, Vernon Darby saying to you, this is Spot On with Vernon Darby. Soon come back. Don't move.
Tune in to German Morgan, a.k.a. big brother DJ Frisco on your radio. Friday nights at 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. inside the Midnight Serenade Radio Show. And Saturdays and Sunday mornings inside the Kingdom Lifestyle Radio Show from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You will be motivated, blessed, and receive a word in time with DJ Frisco in the mix. Tune in, and stay connected.
We're your partner in color, over 30 years strong, serving Jamaica beautifully, changing lives and leading the revolution with quality products innovated for when you need a superior finish. Edge campaigns are trusted, loved, and used by experts in the business of automotive, industrial, decorative, and furniture. We have the blueprint to help you create, vibe, and live life beautifully. EdgeChem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time.
All registered electors are allowed time off to vote on election day for the February 26th local government election. Under the law, every employer shall permit employees to be absent from work on polling day for 3 hours in addition to the normal lunch hour. This does not apply to employees who begin work at 10 a.m. or after or end work at 2 p.m. or earlier. Remember, time off to vote on election day is your right. That was an important announcement from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
Welcome back. You're listening to Spot On with Vernon Dub, and my very special guest is Dr. Leland Johnson from the cool hills of Mandeville. And he's been talking about life, which is becoming sweeter and sweeter by the day, but probably it's not so sweet after all. We're probably consuming too much sugar. Let's go back to him and hear what he has to say. Dr. Leland Johnson.
Yes, thank you very much, Vernon. No, it was even doing my own bit of research, I realized how harmful this simple product is to our health, something that we take for granted and something that we use indiscriminately on a daily basis. Now, the harm now, Vernon, is how it is that this sugar is utilized in the body. I'm going to be going into a little bit of biochemistry. I'm going to be as very simple as far as possible. Now, we learned that the high fructose syrup or corn syrup, which is in a majority of food items on the shelves, and the ratio of fructose depends on what we see as markers. Some will say 45, 55, 60, thereabout, and that actually represents the ratio of the fructose content in that combination sugar there. So when we have this disaccharide, which is two sugars held together by a particular bond, is broken. It splits, and it splits into its two basic sugars, which are glucose and fructose. Now, the thing is that fructose and glucose act differently, or we are reacted on differently by different organs in the body. We're going to say right now. Now, once the glucose is in the bloodstream, the vast majority of it goes on to our skeletal muscles, our muscles particular, where it is actually used for energy production. About 80 to 90% of glucose goes into our muscles, and then the remainder actually goes into our liver. Now, two different reactive processes. Majority of that remaining 10 to 15% sugar, glucose, is converted into a storage unit we call glycogen.
Oh, glycogen.
A very small amount. And then through different reactions, now a very small portion, let us say that 10 to 15% is used to make glycogen, right? About another 0.5 to 1% and probably 2% actually goes to form VLDs, we call very low density lipoproteins, or what is another form of cholesterol. So this is a very, very small portion that is actually converted into cholesterol. And cholesterol is really important, right? Because it is necessary to it helps in formation of our cell membranes and so forth, right? So we need it. It helps in our in the formation, even hormones as well. But it is made in tolerable amounts, right? Now the thing is that whenever you have glucose in the body, the insulin, well, it's going to spark the pancreas to release insulin, and insulin, right, is going to cause the muscles to be able to absorb it. And the other thing with insulin too, right? The other thing with insulin too is that it can interact with the brain center that deals with fullness of satiety. So once it is there now, it can turn on that signal in the brain that says, all right, sugar is in the body. Let us cut off the need for sugar and cut off the need for food. So it cuts away your hunger, right? Now, on the reverse end now, when fructose enters the body, it is a different scenario. Where we said that glucose, the vast majority goes to the muscles. The reverse is that it's only 5 to 10 or even 15% of that fructose goes to muscles. Meanwhile, the 80 to 85%, or even 90% of that fructose actually is utilized in the liver. Now, it is in the liver now that is where all the bad stuffs will be taking place. Now, when it is stored in the liver, or when it is transported into the liver, we're going to have processes that will convert some of that sugar into what we call uric acid. Now, uric acid, right, is a byproduct. And this uric acid is, once it is elevated beyond a point, we have hyperuricemia. And this predisposes persons of what we call of getting what we have, or what we call gout.
Oh, that's what they call the rich man
disease. Exactly.
Goat.
Right.
I see.
Mark, there are other routes for the uric acid to be formed.
Yes.
Right, but sugars, definitely there is a definite chemical or biochemical pathway where uric acid is produced. Now, there is an enzyme that is lined within the surface of our blood vessels, especially the arteries and the capillaries. These ones that carries blood away from the heart. And the purpose of that enzyme here is to create or produce what we call nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the body's blood pressure regulating system, where it allows these vessels to relax and dilate, so it reduces the blood pressure. Now, the thing with uric acid is that it interferes with that enzyme that would form that nitric oxide. So we can inadvertently develop high blood pressure, right? Just by sugars, that form of sugar alone. Now, there's another route that the fructose forms or goes through while in the liver, and it's that over different processes, there's a byproduct they call citrate, which enters into the mitochondria, which is the energy producing unit of the cell. And one of that byproduct is that it's going to form triglycerides, or what we call fatty acids, which is a component of cholesterol. And over time, you have a continuing buildup of these fatty substrates, or these cholesterol substrates in the liver. And some of it actually escapes and goes into circulation.
And block up the...
Right? Yes, exactly. But even before we go there now, there are going to be other substrates that are going to be formed that are going to, what we have reactive oxygen species, and these cause inflammation. And because it is happening within the liver becomes inflamed. And as a result of that, now, the formation of these free fatty acids or cholesterol products will deposit itself within the inflamed areas of the liver. And so we have a term that is called non-alcoholic steatotic hepatitis, or what we call fatty liver.
Oh, yes, I hear
Right?
about the hepatitis.
Mhm.
Let me just remind
Right.
our listeners, if you're experiencing certain conditions, where the doctor is not going to stay here and diagnose, but he can educate you. You can always give us a call, 876 968 8117. That's 876 968 8117. You'll be surprised, you just call and you ask a question, and that might prevent you from might encouraging you to see the doctor. Failure to do so, you could end up somewhere else. So, let me hear from you, my friend. Now, but that's down and keep it to yourself.
Exactly. Now, as we said that, so we're going to have some of these cholesterols forming a deposit within the liver, while we have some escaping and entering into the blood, into circulation. The sad thing about it is that these fatty liver, these fatty deposits now will actually insert themselves onto the surfaces of the muscles and interfere with the insulin receptors. And so it distorts the configuration of these receptors, so that whenever insulin is produced as a result of any detection of an increase in the glucose, because it's only glucose that is going to stimulate the release of insulin. Right. So whenever the insulin is released now, the insulin cannot do its job because it is being distorted by these fatty deposits as a result of the byproduct of the fructose that we had just mentioned earlier.
And let me ask you, is it that why you see when you go to the supermarket, you see them, they indicate you whether or not high fructose sugar is in the product? Is that something you need to watch out for?
No, this is what we're going to be coming to now, Vernon. This is what we're going to be coming to. Now, when I was a child, I was not aware of what in heaven's name high fructose corn syrup was, and I used to see it in almost every product. It was in the biscuits, the breads, cans, syrups,
right,
or syrups, anything at all. And at least 90% of the processed items on our supermarket shelves are laced with sugars. Now, what we are seeing now is that persons are removing what we are seeing now is that the high fructose corn syrup content that would normally be labeled, we are not seeing that being labeled. We are just seeing sugars, right? So the information, in my opinion, is being masked so that we do not know which sugar it is that we are consuming.
And that is why the Heart Foundation of Jamaica was pushing for proper labeling, and labeling that would that consumers would understand. And in Jamaica, that it comes up and it dies after a while. We talk about the 9-day wonder. And it's clear to me that we are slowly but surely, we are killing ourselves off. We are committing suicide by what we eat. And sometimes we don't even know what we are eating.
Exactly, Vernon. Because the thing is, Vernon, so we have here an increase in the amount of cholesterol, means in the amount of fatty deposits. Right. And so we're going to have an obesity epidemic. So all of these now.
You say we are going to, or we have it now?
Right? We already have it, right? So what is happening now is that we are predisposing ourselves now to developing
high blood pressure,
diabetes, coronary artery disease, strokes, you name it. And even now, there is an association between high sugar consumption and cancers. So
I've heard about that.
Right. So we are now eating ourselves to death. As you said, Vernon, what you said a while ago, what is sweet to the mouth?
Will sour you.
Will sour you. So these are the take-home points that we want our listeners to.
We only have a minute, we have to hear where we can contact you. That's very important.
Yes. Right. So I can be contacted at this by two telephone numbers here, 589-0608, 791-1090. And also my office is located at 14 Caledonia Road, Mandeville, right at the Consolidated Health Service Plaza.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leland Johnson from the cool hills of Mandeville. So when you're driving, going down to St. Elizabeth, you kind of stop by. I say, hi, Doc. Well, Doc, let me tell you something. What sweet we saw you. Well, guess what? So I cut back on the street. When I have started long ago. So, and guess what? Because I know what sweet me saw me, we cut back on the street, and guess what? Life has been sweeter.
Good job. Good job.
Take care, my friend. All the best. All right, you're listening to Spot On with Vernon Dive. That was Dr. Lillian Johnson. Going to go for the break. Soon come back, and don't move.
Three Angels Pharmacy, the premier provider of quality pharmaceutical care, opens every day except Saturday. Located at shop number 7, 7B Caledonia Road, Mandeville, call 625-5584. The temperature by Three Angels Pharmacy is
28 degrees Celsius in New Kingston.
Need to spruce up those clothes or take a break from the washing? Then visit New Look Dry Cleaners and Launderers at 120 Red Hills Road, Kingston 19, or Shop 23 Manor Park Plaza for speedy service and the very best prices. Everything will look like new. Be part of the thousands of satisfied customers. Call 925-9464 or 931-1305. Get the best look at New Look.
Create a classic stone look to top off your mahogany and espresso cupboard. The eye-catching appeal of granite, marble, dolomite, and the traditional quartz embodies your creativity for perfection. Sturdy, impervious to scratches and bacteria with low maintenance and requires no sealing. Select from a wide variety of stones at 10 to 12 Cleardale Avenue, 2 roads below Amara Road. Garrett Trading and Installation. Call 876-634-9773-4. Design your style.
Beneficiaries. The PATH payment cycle begins on February 19, 2024. Post offices and payment agencies will deliver payments based on last names up to March 4, 2024. Check the Weekend Star to find out when and where you should collect. If you miss your date, you must collect between March 5 and March 6, 2024. For more information, call PATH at 876-922-8007 or visit the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. PATH, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
This is your television and radio preacher, Bishop Dr. G.G. Cooper, asking you to join me every Sunday at 6 p.m. for revival time. Enjoy 60 minutes of old-fashioned, Holy Ghost anointed, yoke-destroying, burden-removing, praise, celebration.
What's up, Sports Desk Massive? It's the new and improved. What you say? Can't stop to make a call. Well, you can still add your 2 cents by sending in WhatsApp messages or voice notes to 876-828-0925. What you say? During the Sports Desk, Mondays to Fridays, 1 to 4 p.m. Sponsored by BH Paints. Paint it, love it with BH Paints.
Hey everybody, this is your friend Apostle Nicolene Williams. Join me every Thursday at 11 a.m. for my show Pop, Protection of Purity, where we hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, do no evil. Listen, these are the last days. I want to help you to be rapture ready. We will be having thought-provoking discussions, illuminations that will push for introspection, and revelations that will help you to see the need for consecration. Give an ear as you prepare, for the Lord is near. Pop is sponsored by Via Express Courier Services and Aspen Luxury Suites.
Purify my heart.
Welcome back. Yes, you're listening to Spot On with Vernon Darby. And time is really slipping by. It's now 10:49. So we have little time for consumer talk. And of course, we have in the studio Mr. Trevor Samuels, a man who knows the history and a man who knows about consumer matters. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Pretty good, sir. Very good this morning.
And if you're listening this morning, doctor was talking about what sweet you is, sour you.
I heard the last couple of sentences on what sweet you really, sour you. But, to be quick, we are now in what the traditional religious period called the season of Lent.
Yes.
And it means that Easter will soon be around the corner, and you're going to see a lot of advertisements again trying to lure the consumer into purchasing stuff, forgetting that Christmas was just the other day.
Yeah.
And what you call the Valentine's Day was just last week. So therefore they have another excuse to come up again, to tempt you into coming to spend your money. So therefore, we urge consumers to, just like we did for Christmas, try and don't make the ads fool you. Think them out carefully before you go and spend your money, because some of us have bills that accumulated from Christmas and all these things.
Well, if you work, the whole idea is to be more, if you be more productive,
yes,
and you earn more, then you can spend more.
Then you can spend more, of course. And one of the things that I want consumers to be aware about, vegetables, because this time of the year is getting dry, and the little worms and these little things start going into the green leafy vegetables.
We call it worm there for this, scallion and the other.
Scallion and cabbage and callaloo, all the green leaves, But we have to be careful of the pesticides that are being used, because some of the pesticides that I understand that farmers are being used now are not really supposed to be used for plants. But the thing about it, they work. But we don't know the after effects that will have on people. So therefore we have to be careful. And, we don't know, for example, the nice pretty callaloo that we have, or nice pretty cabbage that we have, could well have been sprayed today and in the market tomorrow, because the farmer didn't get the benefit of it. The people who he's working for come in at night and take the things to you in the morning and put them on the market.
The last of the tune with
yes, it's them you're talking about. What do you call them? They used to call them 2 foot posts.
2 foot posts.
Right. They come in and they carry, fresh vegetables, fresh greens and these other things. But be careful, because you don't know where the source of this thing comes. The farmer, the genuine farmer, he will probably follow the rules of using pesticides. But the thief, he will see it tonight and spray this evening, and him come and sell it to you tomorrow morning. And sometimes these days we get all sorts of strange diseases and strange complaints that we don't know where they're coming from.
Yes,
some of these are coming from. Yes. Yeah. So therefore, we have to be careful how we get these things. They are very good to eat, but be careful how you buy them, because they might have been treated and the treatment period has not been finished. And the same thing goes for meats too. We don't know whether the animal that you're getting the meat from is properly, stamped by the public health inspector. When you go into the meat shop, make sure that you see that stamp and a part of the meat that the public health inspector has stamped and passed as fit for consumption. But these days we have all sorts of bandolo stuff going on. We don't even know which is legal from which is not.
Right.
Yet. But let us trust our butcher to say that, okay, they are getting it from legal sources, because, the ram goats and the people, they really wreak havoc on the farmers these days. And as a result of that, the prices have gone up. And we're talking about fish, because it's Lent. Now, fish, especially local fish, is gone out of the reach of a lot of us.
And I gather that the people have been buying the fish for during this Lent, because they've been concerned about pollution.
Pollution.
Yes.
And that, when I see some prices that the fish is selling for, I don't know how many people can really buy this for family. Can really buy this for their family. It is really, really gone out of the reach of a lot of consumers, simply because, as you talk about, pollution is one of the reasons. Because, the plastics that we throw into the whatever it is, the gullies and these places and on the streets, they find their way right back into the sea, because all the waters that we eventually find themselves back into the sea. And then, the fish eat them and swallow them, and the fish probably is not healthy anymore. And
because I hear in the plastic, when it is broken down into very small
fine
particles.
Yes.
You can
And
fish will
of course they eat and they eat them,
Yes.
and they go right back into our system and cause a lot of havoc
Mhm.
in our health. So therefore we have to be careful about how we dispose of our plastics. And although plastics is so good because it helps to preserve the food that we use, but it also has its bad side because the plastic wraps that come, I don't know how they're going to deal with this, because I hear the government talk about they're going to
Ban
tackle
plastic.
plastics next, but I don't know what they're going to use as substitutes. And the lunch boxes and these things that they were disposed of long ago.
Well, years ago, you know what we used to use?
We used
Banana leaf. Type of food, the banana leaf.
Banana leaf is, when you go to bush cooking and food and banana and cocoa leaf is nice, you take a piece of guava stick and use as fork.
As fork. As the Asta looking, Asta have a clue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to be careful though, because we are not clean enough. And I do hope that sooner or later, much sooner than later, they will start have a proper plastic disposal. We're not going to get rid of plastics because it is here to stay. But how we dispose of it, how we use them and dispose of them is going to make a big difference in the type of food.
And of course, I
seafood.
think government need to look at making sure that if we import plastic, we import the ones that are, they call it biodegradable.
Well, they are biodegradable plastics, but they can use other substitute material, from plants, which are biodegradable. Because we used to use them in the days before plastics became popular. So what has gone wrong now? We used to use paper, although you can say paper, is destroying the trees and all that. But we can use substitute. We can find substitute material to do our wrapping of plastic. Because we used to have these things before plastic became popular. So, all these butter and cheese and all these little things that we get, bread bags and these things, we have to be careful how we dispose of them. And it's full time now that we talk about it a long time ago, and we keep on talking and talking and talking. But I do hope that very, very soon we'll have proper enforcement of the laws.
Another 30 seconds.
Proper enforcement of the laws. And people, please stop throwing the plastic stuff through the bus window and the car window. It's very untidy.
We get
very
nasty,
unhealthy.
we get nasty,
very untidy.
My
It's all
God,
a thing
man.
like that. We can keep them
Oh,
in
we
the
have to wrap
yes.
now.
So therefore, all the best for the rest of the week.
Yes.
And please, if you're going to vote, please be careful.
Peaceful. Thank you very much, Travis Samuels. Next week we'll do it all over again. And on the weather front, yes, there is a cold front moving across Jamaica. The cold front is expected to be east of the island this evening. Expect cooler temperatures today through to Thursday. Windy conditions are expected, especially across northern and some western parishes today through to Thursday. 24-hour forecast this morning. Occasional showers across central and western parishes, mostly cloudy elsewhere, windy across western parishes. This afternoon, mostly cloudy with showers across most parishes, windy across north central and western parishes, becoming cool. Tonight, occasional showers across eastern parishes, mostly cloudy, elsewhere windy across western parishes, cool. All right, this is Spot On with Vernon Darby coming here to the end of the program. And of course, we have some persons who are celebrating their birthday. And you can get your birthday to me so I can mention it. Yeah, we need to talk more about that. All right, so let me see. We have, MP Julian Robinson. Yeah, man, Southeast St. Andrew there. Mr. Julian Robinson. Oh, have a wonderful day today. Marcia Livingston, who used to work at JBC. Yeah, it's her birthday today. And today is, as we told you yesterday about today, World Day of Social Justice. All right, I want to thank you, Asta Hyde. Thank you very much, my brother, technical operator. Thank you very much, Pastor Marion Boyne. And I leave you with this. There can be no justice without peace. There can be no justice without peace. And there can be no peace without justice. Vernon Darby saying to you, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. What good, my friend?